Welcome to Ardoyne. Today, it's coming up near the 200th day that we have been denied the right to return home. The 12th is not over. Not for me, and not for the theologians and the bonds. I would like to thank the bonds who came here today, and particularly I'd like to welcome the Abbey Star from Kilwinning. Today there are friends here from County Tyrone. Welcome, brother. You're most welcome, and they live outside of Mount Joy. That's what the ship's named after, Mount Joy. Isn't it great to see brother coming here? Our stand is not only for the people here in Ardoyne and Woodvale, but it's also for the people at Drumcree and at Dunloy. They have been denied the right to walk the Queen's Highway. I'm glad to see a brother here today who was denied the right to go to the hospital the way he wanted to go, and he was threatened with prosecution in a wheelchair. Could the PSNI really believe that they would get a conviction of a cripple in a wheelchair? It would be a laughing stock to the rest of the world. Take note, Matt Baggett. Right. Monday night marks the 200th day of our campaign. I would ask that there be a good turnout that night up here at Ardoyne. Last Wednesday night was terrific. Bonds, the Monday night bonds again, it was terrific to see that. And I would like to thank the bonds who have, over the period of time, supported us here at Ardoyne. I know it's a cold day and I'll not delay it much longer. And I ask John to come forward and speak on behalf of the PUP.
Brothers, sisters, fellow bandsmen and women, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great privilege for me to stand on this stage today, a representative of the Progressive Unionist Party, who stands firmly with our United Loyalist family here at Ardoyne. As a young boy who grew up in East Belfast, I have fond memories of marching with the Orange Order. I always enjoyed the bands, music, traditions, and the sense of pride that our whole community showed, rain, hail or shine. Today, even in the most challenging of circumstances, that pride is as evident and as palpable as ever. My path though would take me away from these shores as I set off to pursue a career. Instead, a vocation, a calling to serve my country in the Royal Air Force. I count myself lucky to have served alongside some of the most courageous and talented individuals that have graced this planet. I am incredibly honoured to have followed in the footsteps of many proud Ulstermen who have committed to the possibility of paying the ultimate sacrifice to ensure that our fellow British citizens could enjoy the freedoms, rights that should be expected from any civilised democracy. Many of those who stand among us today have also served or have friends and family members who they wholeheartedly support in the service of our country. Some would call us ex-service. I say we aren't ex-anything. As veterans, we may have done our time, but we took an oath of allegiance to Queen and country, and that is an oath that we must all continue to uphold. As I serve my final tour in Iraq, I look forward to the familiarity of home and to the new challenges that awaited me. Never once in these thoughts did it occur to me that I might, within a few years, be here, standing on the Woodvale Road, a representative of the Progressive Unionist Party, addressing you in defence of cultural expression, religious tolerance and human rights. But 3 years ago, as I returned home at the end of my 9 years of service, I certainly did not expect what lay ahead of me. 12 years after the Good Friday Agreement, and in a so-called peaceful society, many colleagues, like me, still could not be open about our past. This isn't because we weren't proud or that we didn't want to talk about it. This is because Republicans targeted and continue to target our brave service personnel and veterans. As if this wasn't enough, those men and women who must live with the physical and mental scars of war are denied the treatment, care and support that they so badly need and deserve. And why? Because Republicans say it is against Section 75 of the Northern Ireland Act to implement the Armed Forces Covenant, and they call this equality. 417 days ago, I also stood proudly as chairman of the UPD, alongside a community united in protest as the Pan-Nationalist Front once again struck one of the lowest of blows, removing the Union flag from our capital city of Belfast. A flag which not only symbolises the constitutional status of Northern Ireland, but also one that represents all citizens of the United Kingdom, regardless of their colour, creed, background or political belief. It is the flag that we drape over our fallen as we return them home, and one that we use to remember the sacrifices of our forefathers who gave their lives in the name of freedom and democracy. As a bandsman, I have marched in numerous parades that have endured sinister opposition from Republicans and have been subjected to draconian conditions and restrictions placed on us by an unelected and unaccountable Quango. They have done nothing for community relations, and in the case of this parade have rewarded sustained historical violence by Republicans. As you all know, what I have mentioned so far is only the tip of the iceberg. I could go into the past and shameful actions of militant Republicans. We could talk about the police and their violence against peaceful and lawful citizens, their lies in court, and the pitiful actions of the judiciary against protesters, while those who are convicted of the most heinous offences walk free. Maybe instead of protesting, we should all just say we're waiting for a bus and make a complete mockery of the judicial system. Translate would need a bigger bus. Sorry, my hands are cold. But ladies and gentlemen, I, like you, am a confident and unashamed loyalist. Martin McGuinness may wish to continue his party's campaign of demonisation against us, but I have a message for you, Mr. McGuinness. You are a disgrace. A man that purposely misleads the citizens of this country is not fit for office and has no contribution to make to politics in Northern Ireland. We will not sit back and accept your politics of fear and your tactics of divide and rule. We are not afraid. We will not accept your skewed narratives and flawed mask of equality. Fellow Loyalists, it's not enough to sit back and hope that these issues will be resolved by others. It is the responsibility of all of us to ensure that we articulate not just our concerns, but also the positive contribution that our community has made and continues to make to moving Northern Ireland forward as a strong member of the United Kingdom. Are we right to stand here and protest? Yes, we are. But this must be accompanied by a sound, coordinated political strategy. This starts with us all ensuring that we are registered to vote, and more importantly, that we use it, and that we are properly and fairly represented. We need to identify the talented individuals from our community to act as our representatives. They should be able to show respect towards all citizens of this country, but they must have the integrity and moral courage to challenge those whose agenda and actions are not genuine. Above all, they must have a sense of service before self. That is, putting the needs of our communities and the people in them before their own needs or the needs of their parties. We truly need to embed the determination to keep country first as the fundamental characteristic of unionism. Country must come before party, and it is the job of all in this community to ensure that elected representatives honour what must become a solemn duty. If we are successful in these first steps, we can start to build a sound political strategy, one which eradicates the old ways of politicians setting the rules and telling us what we're supposed to do. We must ensure that power in politics rests where it belongs, with the people. Communities should be provided with every opportunity to take part in political process and decision making. Our identity, culture, heritage is not up for debate or negotiation, and should be understood and accepted as part of the rich tapestry that makes up the many facets of our nation. This will be a challenge for us all, but it is one that I have pledged to take on with every fibre of my being, and it is one that I throw down to all of you, particularly to our political parties. If we can engender this new attitude to politics, if we can hold to account those we elect to office, if we can maintain the purpose which has tempered the unyielding resolve to see this protest to its conclusion, then united we can never be defeated. With that in mind, I have only one thing left to say. Let them hope. No surrender.
May I say thank you again for turning up. I have now asked the band to play the national anthem.